Hi, I'm Carl Wenning, the 2017 to 2021 chair of the North Central region of the Astronomical League, NCRAL. I'd like to welcome you today as I talk briefly about awards announcements for the year 2020. Before I begin that though, let me share with you a PowerPoint that I prepared that will serve as a little bit of a backdrop today for us as we make these announcements. So let's begin. I do want to point out the fact that this year has been unprecedented with the coronavirus, and it's made it rather difficult for us to get together, either in our clubs or even in our sections, our region, to hold meetings. Hopefully still a lot of you are getting out and observing the night sky. I've been doing so with small groups of members in my own club. And we've been maintaining social distancing, but nonetheless, we've certainly been able to get out and do some observing, and I hope you do too. So today what I'm going to do is announce the names of our 2020 award recipients, and those things will include the Region Award, the Newsletter Editor Award, and though I'm announcing these awards today, the plaque and the certificate that is associated with each will be presented at NCRAL 2021. On the other hand, there's cash distributions that are to be made associated with grants and awards. And I will indicate that, yes, there is a $50 bonus that goes to the club in recognition of the work of the editor of that club. And this is for the Newsletter Editor Award. There's also a mini grant I'm going to talk about today, and there's a $250 allocation for that. And I'm going to make sure that those get out to the appropriate individuals before long. But first, I do want to mention one thing. I want to sincerely express thanks to the Northern Cross Science Foundation. You know, they were going to hold NCRAL Vision 2020 convention here May 1st and 2nd, but because of the coronavirus pandemic, we're not able to. They've most graciously decided to postpone the meeting, and it will be rescheduled for 2022. Fortunately, we had an opening in the list of scheduled talks, conventions, and as a result, it fit in very, very nicely. I want to especially note thanks to Jeff Setzer, the convention chair, and all the members of that committee who were planning this particular convention on our behalf. Jeff, sorry we're not going to be with you this year, and we certainly look forward to being with you in 2022. Well, let's go on. I want to talk a wee bit about the region here today. You know, it's a region consisting of a number of states. We have North and South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa. We have Wisconsin, Illinois, and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. This group, in fact, was formed as part of the National Astronomical League, and we are just simply one of its 10 regions. And we all came into existence in 1947. And we have something that has been conferred since at least 1989, at least that's as far back as the records go. And that's the Region Award. So I want to talk about that today. But before we do that, I want to point out to the fact that this is a very prestigious award, and there's only been 30 awardees since 1989. And when you realize the size of the region, consisting of 1,850 members approximately, only 30 people have received this award since 1989. And that's an amazingly long period of time. And there you see by year and by name the recipients, all outstanding amateur astronomers, as you could imagine. So the real question now, as we look to 2020, is who is this year's recipient? Well, let's go ahead and reveal that. So this year's recipient, 2020, for the NCRAL Region Award is Lee Green of the Twin City Amateur Astronomers, Norma, Illinois. Congratulations, Lee. As the nomination letter stated, Lee is the TCAA's outreach representative par excellence. That's Tim Stone speaking on behalf of the Astronomy Club, Twin City Amateur Astronomers. Lee is, in fact, really really exceptional in what he does. I know him personally, obviously. And he has presented more than 400 talks to club groups, social groups, scouts, church groups, all kinds of groups throughout the central portion of Illinois. He's just a constant, selfless giver. He has a tremendous record of leadership, service, and observing, and I want to detail those briefly for you today. In terms of leadership, Lee has served for many years consecutively as the TCAA president. He's served since 2007, as early as that, as a board member for the Astronomy Club here. And served many years as webmaster. He's been a columnist for our local newsletter, The Observer, for which he wrote 180 columns in the last few years. And of course, was a member of the NCRAL 2010 and 2016 convention planning and execution committee that presented these particular regional conventions on behalf of NCRAL. Lee is a NASA Solar System ambassador. And as far as our records can tell, we keep pretty detailed records in the Astronomy Club, he has interacted with or presented to over 18,000 individuals in the past 11 years. Okay, and with regards to observing, he's quite adept at visual and astrophotographic work using his C14-inch telescope and an S-big camera, which we claim is portable. He makes it portable. It's a telescope on the go a lot of times. So Astronomical League Master Observer, no question about it. Lee is right up there with the best of amateur astronomers. And the Astronomy Club, the Twin City Amateur Astronomers, has also recognized him in the past with some really great awards here that really do stand to show the opinion, the high regard with which the club holds Lee. He recently won the G. Weldon Schutte Society of Outstanding Amateur Astronomers Award, as well as the Bertha and John Kiewit Founders Award. Closest thing we have to a service award in the Twin City Amateur Astronomers. Congratulations, Lee. Now, the NCRAL Newsletter Editor Award, it's an award that only started up last year, so this is this second recipient. This year's recipient is, and shall we have a drum roll, please? It turns out to be Edith Octor of Northwest Suburban Astronomers. Edith, congratulations. Edith is from Barrington, Illinois, and has been editor of the Celestial Log newsletter for the Northwest Suburban Astronomers since January 1985. Think about it. That's over 35 years and nearly 425 issues. That is absolutely exceptional. What a dedicated individual. Again, congratulations, Edith, on this wonderful award. Of course, we would be remiss if we didn't tell you a little bit about Edith. This is some amazing stuff here. As Michael Schiller noted in her nomination for this award, these years of service represent countless hours and an incredible selfless dedication to our club and its members. If that's not true, I don't know what is. She attends nearly every NSA event just simply so she knows what's going on, so she can record it for the history of the club and put it in the newsletter. Edith and her husband Tom have spent 6 to 8 weeks each year for several years at a national park out in Nevada sharing the love of astronomy with others. And that's another sign of dedication to her club and to amateur astronomy as well. Let's take a look at the NCRAL mini grants. As you know, there are 2 different types of mini grants available through the region each year. The inaugural grant was actually handed out last year at the 2019 NCRAL convention. And there are 2 types, again, as I mentioned. There's the membership and recruitment and retention grant, which was used last year to recruit a whole new group of members for one of our clubs. And of course, there's the other grant, which is called the Affiliate Recruitment Grant, and it's designed to help one club get a non-AL affiliate to join the Astronomical League and thereby, by default, become a member of our own region. So there's a $250 maximum allotment for this particular grant. It's not a lot, but it certainly can be used as seed money to kick off some pretty impressive programs, which we've seen recently. Unfortunately, There were no applicants this year. The newsletter, Northern Lights, had a very good rendition, several articles actually, in which the club described a laboratory activity and a series of classes actually for a whole group of new amateur astronomers. And that's still panning out. Unfortunately, the coronavirus pandemic has kind of put a kibosh on getting together and doing springtime observing, but we hope to see that resume before long and get yet another report from the recipient on the success of the first year's inaugural grant. But let's move on. There was a second affiliate, the grant here, the mini grant, and of course this year's recipient is the Twin City Amateur Astronomers of Bloomington, Normal, Illinois. This club was founded in 1960 and recently just had its 60th anniversary, so it's been around for a long time. So we congratulate the Twin City Amateur Astronomers on winning this mini grant this year. The purpose behind the grant will be to work with the Illinois State University Astronomy Club through the ISU Planetarium. The Astronomy Club at Illinois State is just a fledgling organization. It's been around for only about 5 years. And among its excited members, there's very little experience or expertise relative to the nighttime sky. Turns out a lot of the kids at Illinois State do come from the Chicago metropolitan area where it's pretty hard to see a good night sky. And so these students, though excited, have had very little experience under the dark night sky. So the objectives of the Astronomy Club of working with the planetarium with the members of the Twin City Amateur Astronomers is to get club members to become competent speakers at ISU planetarium programs. And these are the after program sky lectures in the planetarium. And then also to engage these student members from the ISU Astronomy Club to go outside, host sidewalk amateur astronomy programs for a campus which contains over 20,000 students, over 15,000 of which are residents on campus living in student dorms and in the surrounding community. So a wonderful opportunity to engage a lot more people. So our goal then with this particular grant here is to get the ISU Astronomy Club to become an active member of the Astronomical League and by fall the North Central region of the Astronomical League. So hopefully we'll get a chance to see them in action here. The Twin City Amateur Astronomers will in fact be hosting NCRAL 2023. You'll be hearing more about that, and perhaps our ISU students will be assisting with the presentation in the coming years. So again, congratulations, Twin City Amateur Astronomers, on this award. Now, before I go, I just want to point out here a few of the other benefits that are associated with the region, because those have been growing over the years. One of the things that's coming up is leadership positions. It's always fun. There's a lot of ways to achieve joy when it comes to amateur astronomy. Some people like to write, some people like to observe, some people like to photograph, some people like to share and give talks, some people just like to read about astronomy, but other people like to provide service. And we got some great things going on here. We have positions of the regional chair, the vice chair, the secretary treasurer, and representative to the Astronomical League, which will all be voted on here at NCRAL 2021 next year. So give it some thought. You might want to consider running for one of these positions here. Of course, we don't want to forget we've got the seasonal Messier mini marathons where we break the sky down into 4 different seasons, all 110 Messier objects, 27 to 28 per season. Look at can be done very simply over a period of a couple of hours or so, even less than that some evenings. You can use GO2 telescopes. The purpose of the program is not to prove competence as an observer. That's the AL Messier Club. But ours is simply to get people out under the stars. And it's had some very good effects. We see especially members from the Twin City Amateur Astronomers, and more importantly, more numerously, should I say, the popular astronomy club in the Quad Cities region on the border between Iowa and Illinois. great number of observations are being taken by these people, and I hope others will read about this in our newsletter, the Northern Lights newsletter, and do the same thing, get out there and observe. Had a lot of positive comments. One of the things I want to mention, though, is that only about 407 of some 1,850 members of the North Central region are actually subscribed to receive our newsletter. So I want to bring that to your attention, and I hope you will yourself, and if you are a leader in a club, you will share this information with your fellow club members to get them subscribed so they can get this newsletter and read it. I'm sure more than 407 people read this, but it would be nice to have these people in the database so that they can get a direct mailing of the newsletter and also hear about other special announcements as well. Of course, I'll mention too, very briefly, Facebook posting. We do a lot of that, and there's the NCRAL website, which you need to know a little bit about as well. So let me go ahead real quickly, give you a quick rundown on these things here. Northern Lights newsletter, you know, is in its 5th year production now. It's been coming out every season. We come out usually right around the time of the equinoxes and solstice. They're typically anywhere from 18 to 25, 26 pages long, filled with a lot of interesting news and articles and things about our various reward programs, benefits, and membership, and so on. I strongly encourage you to get involved in this. The back issues are available on the NCRAL website. It's a great little publication. I think you'll agree. A lot of hard work by a lot of people goes into producing this, and I do really encourage you to subscribe to do that. In order to get into the database for the NCRAL, where we will send you issues of the newsletter and send you other important announcements, you can go to a website that you'll see here, https://goo.gl/gs:8F. That email address is in fact case sensitive, so go to it, and you can also sign up through our website as well. Well, let's move on here. We have here Facebook. If you haven't been paying attention to Facebook recently, you've been missing a lot of things. I've been sharing a lot of activities and observations that you can make evening by evening here that tend to be suitable for the entire region. You'll see the left-hand side here. This is what our Facebook page actually looks like when you log into it. But you'll find posts with commentary every 2 or 3 days. This is one simple series that I had just produced a couple of days ago, dealing with Venus and Moon in the evening sky. And so we have a lot of little commentary and a lot of beautiful things to take a look at there that you simply do not want to miss. So do follow us on Facebook, in fact, if you are a Facebook user. Another thing here, finally, is our website here for the region. It's maintained by Jeff Setzer, does a great job. And it's been just loaded with lots of new information over the last couple of years, anything from bylaws to who our officers are, all the events that we have going on within our region, conventions, state star parties, and so on. Newsletters are archived there. There's various reports like the region report here, which are produced annually for the national office and so on. Just a lot of good information. You might want to take a look at it. You also see it has information about the league, information about the region, information about member societies. Look that stuff over. And if you find that there's inaccuracies, because it's hard to keep a lot of the stuff up to date, please contact us. You'll find that contact information here on the website by taking a look under the officers. You can generally send the information to me, and I maintain a lot of the databases. But as you can see here, the web address is ncral.wordpress.com. Do please check us out. And then, of course, coming soon, and I'll just end with this here today, there are some fascinating things that are coming up here. We got information about NCRAL 2021, which is going to be hosted by the Neville Public Museum Astronomical Society up in the Green Bay area. We don't know about the details of that yet, but they will be coming soon. And of course, don't forget, I generally produce a very detailed region report. And if you've got anything you would like to share about your club and its operations within the region, please let me know, and I'll include that. And I'll give a live update, just like I'm doing here now, if you call this live, and we'll let everybody have it, which is normally something which I would do as part of the business meeting at the regional convention, which unfortunately, again, we're not having this year. So don't forget, we've got the summer issue of NCRAL's newsletter, Northern Lights, coming out. If you've got some interesting things to share with members of the region, please let me know, and I'll make sure that it's included. So there you have it. That's a quick rundown on what's going on in the region, and our great award recipients, grant awardees, and so on. I really congratulate all of them and applaud the work that everybody does to keep NCRAL up and going. So good luck, and hope to see you before long right here on this site. Goodbye.